Ever dreamed of touring the world? Of visiting every continent? Imagine how amazing that would be. And more than that, imagine how doing it using only human power would be. Impossible, you might say? Well, it's not.
Meet Jason Lewis, a strong animal rights supporter and a vegan. He was born on the 13th of September 1967 in England. Before becoming an adventurer, Lewis worked as a window cleaner and was part of a local rock band.
One day, his friend Steve Smith, a scientist, discovered that no one had ever attempted to circumnavigate the Earth using only human power, and asked Jason to join him on this crazy adventure. 2 years later, they were off.
But before we continue, what is circumnavigation? Actually, circumnavigation means to travel all the way around the entire planet. Magellan was the first man to circumnavigate the globe, and Jason Lewis was the second.
But he was the first to do it only using human power. During his trip, he did many incredible things. He did so many that it will take us an hour to tell them all.
To spare time and avoid your boredom, we will list the top 5 amazing things he accomplished in no particular order. Number 5. Paddling the Atlantic. Steve and Jason started paddling on October 13, 1994.
They started from Lagos, Portugal, and touched the ground of Miami on the 17th of February 1995. On their way, they stopped to Madeira Island to repair their camera, which they used to document their trip.
Steve nearly lost his life during this trip after being washed off the boat by a giant wave. Because of that and the extreme conditions, the relationship between the two friends deteriorated, and sometimes they exchanged a maximum of 10 words in a day.
Number 4. Traveling the United States in rollerblades. After crossing the Atlantic together, Steve and Jason decided to travel separately. Starting from Miami, Jason used rollerblades, learning how to skate along the way.
He was hit by a car halfway to San Francisco, an impact that broke both of his legs. He took 9 months to recover. The trip was 4,300 miles in total, which equals to approximately 6,920 kilometers.
Number 3. Paddling the Pacific. Jason Lewis took 178 days to cross the Pacific Ocean by himself, from San Francisco to Australia. To do that, he divided the journey into 4 stages.
He first paddled from California to Hawaii.
From Hawaii, he went to Tarawa.
From Tarawa, he paddled to Solomon Islands.
Finally, from Solomon Islands, he arrived to Australia. The adventure was at a total of 13,230 kilometers.
Number 2. Biking Asia. To go to Asia, Lewis kayaked from Australia to Singapore. He then biked from Singapore through Malaysia, Thailand, Laos, and West China before getting to the bottom of the Himalayas.
Number 1. Biking Africa. Commencing Friday 31st of March 2007, he used the bike to head west of Djibouti and north through Ethiopia before following the River Nile.
He used his kayak and was arrested by Egyptian military because they thought he was a spy. Lewis was sentenced for 40 years of prison, but it ended and spent only a couple of days there since they released him early.
During his trip, Jason Lewis walked, cycled and skated 5 continents, as well as kayaked, swam and pedaled across rivers, seas and oceans for a total of 46,505 miles, which represents 74,842 kilometers.
He holds a Guinness World Record for being the first man to circumnavigate the Earth using only human power. His friend Steve never completed the circumnavigation.
After 13 years, 2 months, and 24 days of trips, he now delivers speeches about global sustainability. He wrote a trilogy of books, and his trips are and occasionally published articles for a magazine and travel books. He is very active on social medias and has a website.
In his speeches and books, he talks about what he has learned from the experience. First of all, he has learned that the world is very big and that different cultures don't necessarily see the things the way that we do.
He has seen a lot of people in difficulty and has been able to really appreciate what he has because of his trip. But more importantly, Jason has learned that we can accomplish everything that we want if we don't give up.
His accomplishments will never be forgotten.